What's up, YouTube? I'm William Bitter, and this is my channel, Money Thoughts. In today's video, I'm going to give a super comprehensive review of my 2021 Tesla Performance Model 3. First, I'm going to tell you everything I love about it, and then I'm going to tell you the things that annoy me and the things that I don't like. First of all, it's wicked fast with a 0 to 60 in 3 seconds.
We're recording right now? Yeah. Holy fuck! Oh shit! Oh my god, Will!
And it's super quiet, and it makes this really cool kind of humming sound that sounds like this quiet spaceship that's like creeping through. It handles turns like a boss. I've never driven a car that handles turns so well. It also handles snow super well with the all-wheel drive, but you need to make sure to have winter tires. It's sexy, super comfortable, and extremely customizable. You can adjust your mirrors, your steering wheel location. You can even adjust your driving preferences, such as acceleration and steering and stopping. Basically, you can choose to have it accelerate really quickly or more chill. Steering, either it is very responsive or less responsive. And then stopping, you can actually have the car mimic that of a gas vehicle with the creep option, which is basically, you know, just like in a gas car, when you let your foot off the brake, the car starts creeping forward without pushing the gas. The roll just means that it doesn't creep forward, but it'll continue to roll. If you don't have your foot on the brake or the gas, the car will roll. And hold actually uses regenerative braking, which basically means that when you let your foot off the gas, it automatically starts braking, but not using the brake pads, but instead using regenerative braking, which recharges your battery. I always have it on hold, which it takes a little bit to get used to, but essentially, you know, this makes your brake pads last possibly the lifetime of your ownership of the vehicle, because you almost never use your brake pads when you're always using regenerative braking. It also maximizes how long your battery lasts. On top of that, you can also customize the autonomous software. You can choose how high over the speed limit to go. So you can either choose to go, you know, a percentage over the speed limit or a set mileage over the speed limit. So like 5 miles over the speed limit. So the car will actually read the speed limit sign and will go that speed over the speed limit, which is pretty cool. And then you can customize other things, such as like a speed limit warning if you're going over the speed limit, as well as a forward collision warning. So like if you're about to hit something, you can either have it like let you know early on in the process or late. So late would mean that it's gonna wait until you're really about to hit something to give you a warning. And then there's these like life-saving features at the bottom here, lane departure avoidance. So I have them all turned on. I've watched all these YouTube videos of people avoiding accidents in their Tesla based on this. And so what this does is emergency lane departure avoidance means that it will actually leave the lane if the car sees that it's about to get hit by something. And it will automatic emergency braking, will slam on the brakes if it's going to hit something. Obstacle aware acceleration. Watch videos of this, but basically a car is about to hit you, about to rear end you, and the car will slam on the acceleration to avoid the accident as well. This one, the green traffic light chime, for me is amazing because a lot of the time I'm sitting at a red light, I'm not paying attention, I'm looking at my phone, I'm sending a text message, and when the light turns green, my car will just make a nice little, and that means it's time to go. So that way I'm not just sitting there at the red light, watching the light and waiting for it to turn green. I can do other things because I know my car will remind me when it turns green. Having a Tesla makes having a car so seamless and convenient. For example, my phone is linked with Bluetooth to my car. So when I get to my car, it knows all my settings already. It knows where I want my steering wheel, the mirrors, and how I like my seat. So as soon as I walk up to my car, the seat automatically adjusts to exactly what I want. Also, when I walk up to my car, it unlocks, and when I walk away from my car, it It not only locks the car as I walk away, but it rolls up the windows and turns off the lights, which is pretty incredible. So I guess, yeah, let's do that. I'm gonna roll all the windows down, my entire car, and the lights are on and my windows are down. I'm getting out of my car, and watch this. All I have to do is walk away from my car. And just like that, look, windows rolling up, and yep, so the windows rolled up and it locked, and I have it set, because it's super customizable, I have it set so it makes a little beep sound when it locks, so that way I know, oh look, and the mirrors fold in. And then when I walk up, all I have to do, and it unlocks for me, because it knows that it's me. Also, look, watch, my car will be in drive, like, so I'll pull up. I won't even like remember to friggin' park the car. But as soon as I open the door, boom, it puts the car in park. I never have to lock my door again. I never have to unlock the door. It's all done automatically. So not only that, but my windshield wipers turn themselves on automatically if it's raining. They also adjust the speed according to how intense the rain is. Also, my high beams turn on and off based on if there's oncoming traffic, it'll turn down to low beams, and then once you pass oncoming traffic, it'll turn back up to high beams. So I never have to think about flashing my high beams on and off or turning the windshield wipers on and off. It just does it all automatically. Also, because it's an electric vehicle, I actually never have to turn the vehicle on or off. It's either I'm just pushing the pedal and it's going, or I'm letting go of the pedal and it's stopping. I don't even have to push the brake because I have regenerative braking. So literally it's just one pedal, and then drive, shift it into drive and shift it into reverse. So like 3 things that I have to do. It's incredibly streamlined, automated, and simple and convenient. There's also all these super convenient voice commands that are built into the steering wheel, such as like, I don't know, go to a certain website or activate Sentry mode, increase the screen brightness, which it actually does automatically based on how bright it is outside. Turn windshield wipers on and off, fold the mirrors, open the charge port, lock the doors. This is all done through the voice command. Look, you can say I'm cold, and I guess it'll turn the heat up. Navigation, you can just say navigate and then the address you want to navigate, and it automatically navigates to that address, which if you have full self-driving on, you'll actually, by just the tap of a button, and you can say navigate home, it'll actually not just put navigation on for you, but it'll actually drive you home, which is pretty incredible. Yeah, so all of these are accessible through the voice command, which is just this little button right here. So I guess let's try it. Turn on windshield wipers. Yeah, there we go. Turn off windshield wipers. Fold the mirrors. Boom. Unfold the mirrors. There's another one I really like. So yeah, watch this. Open butthole. Just about everything with your vehicle you can do through the voice command button, which is just one tap on your steering wheel. Super convenient. So another thing I love about this car is that it's 360 glass windows all the way around, and then even the ceiling makes you really able to see, makes you really able to appreciate your surroundings. And because it's so simple here, there's not all these dials, there's not all these like vents and dials here. I actually feel like I can see way more of the road in front of me because this is super low. So just from where I'm sitting, I can see directly in front of me. So the windshield and this simple dashboard is so convenient. Also, for such a small car, it actually has so much storage. Let's see. Open frunk. Open trunk. All right, so just to show you guys, I mean, the extra storage here in the frunk, I mean, I've actually, me and my girlfriend and I have sat here and we put our feet in here and sit up here and drink wine. It's like a whole nother room in the house, you know? Excuse my car for being so dirty. And then like even in the trunk, I mean, as you know, I live in my car, if you follow me at all. So there's a whole twin mattress back here, but actually down here there's this hidden compartment which I have all my rock climbing gear. So in total it's really a lot of storage for such a small vehicle. All right, so let's talk about full self-driving features. So on the highway, the navigate on autopilot is so good. So I literally just stick this battery pack in here, which puts a little bit of weight so I don't have to constantly keep jiggling the steering wheel. And just with this, I can go hundreds of miles on the highway without doing anything, without hitting the blinker, the gas, or the brake or anything. On the highway, it's truly incredible. It's life-changing. I mean, the car will literally change the speed limit based on speed limit signs. It will slow down for curvy roads. When there's a sharp curve in the road, it'll slow down. It will do speed-based lane changes, which basically it will, if someone's going slower than you have it set to, it will pass them in the passing lane. It'll change lanes in the passing lane, pass them, and then it'll get out of the passing lane, or especially if someone's coming up behind you quickly, it will move out of their way, out of the passing lane. It will get in the correct lanes based on navigate on autopilot. It'll get in the correct lanes that it needs to take certain exits, to get on other highways. It'll take exits for you. You know, if you don't have the access to the full self-driving beta, it would just take the exit and then it would just come to a stop at the next intersection. You know, I guess if you were to fall asleep with navigate on autopilot on, you would at least end up stopped at a intersection off the highway at some point. So yeah, this is my setup and that's how I do it. And to be honest, anyway, I hope I don't get in too much trouble for showing you guys this, but I'll literally attach some bungee cords here and I will attach my iPad to the steering wheel and I'll watch movies while driving across the country. Pre-downloaded movies on my iPad. Yeah, I know you're not supposed to do that, you know, but the way I look at it is the iPad's right here, and then I'm always kind of in my peripheral looking at the road, and at least I'm not asleep, and, you know, I'm always sort of paying attention and ready to jump in, I guess. But on the highway, it's really good. Like, it will do everything it needs to. The only concern I have on the highway is that if there's like a big pothole or a rock, it might hit the rock. It might run over the rock, or if there's like a piece of a shredded tire or a piece of a roadkill, it might run over that, just because I think it doesn't really respond to like little things like that. I love the summon feature. It's such a cool party trick. Like, you know, you have to be in a private parking lot, but essentially that uses your location on the map to drive to you remotely with no one in the vehicle. So the summon feature is pretty cool. However, it doesn't always work, and it only works in very like simple, specific situations, but it's still pretty dope. And I'm sure it'll get better over time. The auto park feature is pretty cool. Being able to do a parallel park automatically with the click of a button is pretty dope. However, it's kind of in the same bracket as the summon feature. I don't fully trust it, and there was one time that it rubbed against the curb. Ever since then, I can't fully trust the auto park, but I'm sure it'll get better and better. Every time that I do it successfully, I'm always amazed, and it's just a really crazy feeling to like watch the steering wheel move rapidly and park so quickly. And this is where it gets really crazy. I push start, and oh my god, I'm gonna have a heart attack. But yep, it's oh my god, it literally gives me goosebumps. I'm like, what? Oh my god, is it gonna crash? I'm like, what the hell? It just literally is parallel parked for me. So on top of the Navigate on Autopilot feature, which is the autonomous software for the highway, you can also request to be part of the full self-driving beta testers, which currently, as we just learned from their last earnings call, there's now 60,000 beta testers. So the full self-driving beta is basically the city streets portion of the software. All the complicated stuff that you don't really see on highway driving, that's what they're trying to solve with this full self-driving beta. And then that would finish the last piece of the puzzle, right? And allow the cars to go fully from point A to point B without a human. So with the full self-driving beta, you actually can go from point A to point B without any human intervention. However, it's still in beta testing, it's still a work in progress, and it still requires you to pay extreme attention, as the car can do some pretty erratic things suddenly, and you have to be ready to jump in at any moment. So when I have the full self-driving beta on and I'm using it in a city, I am so actively alert. It's honestly a little bit more stressful than just driving, as the computer is still learning and it's not fully complete yet. But this software and being along for the journey and watching it grow and develop is the reason that I bought my Tesla. And I think it's like the most exciting software that's being built today, and it's going to change the world. And honestly, the full self-driving beta works really well in like kind of suburban areas in Colorado. I'm like amazed at how well it does, but then I turn it on in New York City and I'm like, this is terrible. All these awkward moments where drivers expect you to do things and you're not doing it. So, but I think most people live in very basic suburban areas, such as like suburban Colorado, Colorado Springs, for example, where it works really well. So that's where it gives me a lot of hope, and that they're making a lot of progress, is drives in Colorado Springs specifically. So perhaps one of my favorite parts of owning a Tesla is I can actually turn on camp mode and I can run the heating and cooling system overnight. You see, with gas vehicles, you can't run the car overnight. And if you run the heating or cooling system overnight, the battery will die. So, and the reason you can't run a gas vehicle overnight is the possibility of carbon monoxide poisoning. Also, the engine has to stay idle while you run a gas vehicle, so I think it will use a lot of gas to stay on overnight. But with a Tesla, I simply put it on camp mode, and all that camp mode really does is it makes sure that, you know, if the battery reaches 20%, it turns camp mode off, and that's just to ensure that you will be able to drive to the nearest charger the next day, you know. So I've done a good amount of camping over the past 6 months especially, and I can tell you that camping in the summer, it usually only takes around 5 to 8% of the battery to sleep overnight in the car at a super comfortable temperature. And then in the winter, it usually takes like 15 to 20% battery, and that's with like temperatures around like 0 degrees, 5 degrees out at night. I've camped in this car down to -5 degrees, and honestly, it stays nice and toasty. You know, I usually keep it nice and toasty because I like to be comfortable and I don't mind charging, especially having free supercharging and being in a lot of areas that have free chargers. I don't really care about running the battery down 20% overnight. It's really not a big deal to me to be super comfortable. Yeah, anyway, as you can see, my home is a mess. I'm actually in Telluride, Colorado right now, waiting for a snowstorm to hit any minute so I can go. I'm waiting for the powder and I'm going to go snowboarding tomorrow. But I figure I'd try to knock this video out today. So camping in the Tesla, in my opinion, is better than any kind of car camping that I've ever experienced. The fact that I'm able to fit a 3-inch Tempur-Pedic twin mattress topper in the back is pretty incredible. You know, it's not like I have a van or anything. Like, this is a Performance Model 3. But the seats fold forward and it's just enough space to fit this mattress, if you can see it. Which is super comfortable, actually. Also, while camping, having like Netflix, Hulu, and YouTube on the screen right here, like, I mean, this is basically my view from like where my head rests on the pillow of the screen, and I just put Netflix on there and watch. With the sound system in this car, it's like surround sound, and the bass is so strong. I honestly prefer watching things on Netflix in my car versus my 50-inch screen TV at home. It just feels more immersive. I feel like I'm in a movie theater, you know? All right, so on top of camp mode, we've also got dog mode. So this is what it looks like when you put dog mode on. So I'll show you. If you put dog mode on and you have the temperature set to like 71 degrees, when I get out of the car, and I have tinted windows, so it's actually kind of hard to see. But as you can see on the screen, it says, "My driver will be back soon. Don't worry, the heater is on and it's 71 degrees." So pet mode is just like camp mode, where if it reaches 20% battery, it'll turn off automatically to make sure that you're able to drive to the nearest charger. But this dog mode really changes traveling with the dog. It's just way more seamless, relaxing, and worry-free, being able to leave your dog in the car and not really have to worry about them. It feels more like you're leaving your dog at home instead of leaving your dog in a car. because you know that they have the temperature set to exactly what they need, and you know that there's a nice little notice in case people are worried about your dog. So another really cool mode is Sentry mode. Sentry mode basically allows you to turn all your cameras on the outside of your vehicle into like security cameras. So basically you turn Sentry mode on, and then if anyone were to walk by your vehicle or like, you know, key your car or like bump door your car or hit you and run, you would actually have a little snippet, a little video snippet that would get saved to your vehicle, and then you could check later. So if someone were to hit and run you while you're parked, you know, you might be able to catch their license plate with your camera. So that's super useful. And then also, you know, if someone were to break into your car, you get a notification on your phone, and you're able from your phone to actually access the camera's live feed. So you can actually check live from your phone. You can see like through each camera, and you're able to speak through the megaphone. It's like a speaker on the outside of the car. You're actually able to speak very clearly, actually. And, you know, so far, the only use that I've found for this is kind of like playing pranks and having fun. You know, like kind of weirding people out that are walking by your car or something. Also with Sentry mode, you know, an alarm will sound if someone breaks into your car. Something that I almost completely forgot is track mode, which I haven't used in a while. So what track mode does is you can just click customize, and then you're actually able to, see, I did a preset here. So in track mode, you're actually able to transfer the balance between the front wheels and the back wheels. So like you can have 50-50, or you can basically turn your car into a rear wheel driving vehicle by making most of the power in the rear wheels, right? And you can like choose how much stability assist and how much regenerative braking to put on. So that's pretty cool that you can basically like transfer the power between front and rear wheels. It also like heats up the battery to make like extra efficient use of the power for driving around the track, basically. So another thing is you can actually plug in a gaming controller. There's two little ports right there. Like, for example, Sonic the Hedgehog requires game controller, which I don't have, but I just think it's really cool that this is basically a gaming console as well. And there's all these like cool like things in the toy box. Like, this is my little sister's favorite app, is basically you can basically make each seat fart, and you can actually choose the type of fart. Oh my god. Yeah, so anyway, how many cars do you know that can do that? Another one of my favorite apps is Boombox, and basically I usually will replace the horn sound with my favorite one is DJ, and then basically so that'll make a DJ sound when I hit the horn. Oops, and then I can like, anyway, people are around, so I don't really want to cause a scene, but yeah, like I'll pick my girlfriend up from the airport and I'll just sound the horn and make like the burr, 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 burr sound, and like that way she knows when I'm pulling up to pick her up. Another really cool aspect of owning a Tesla is the service part of the app. If you get a flat tire, for example, it's super easy to just go into the app and make a little like claim in the service section. And Tesla offers free tows if you get flat tires. So that's really convenient. And then also like a bunch of Tesla's services, they actually offer mobile service. So like, for example, I needed my tires rotated and I just scheduled a mobile service, and the dude literally came to my house and like rotated my tires in my driveway for $50. I think he like topped off my like window wiper fluid or whatever, and like inflated my tires with the proper amount of like air. So like I don't know, like that was so convenient because just not having to go somewhere and then wait for them to do it and then like come back, like just my time is so valuable that like $50 for them to come to you, while you're like eating breakfast in your dining room and they just do it for you. Absolutely incredible. So Tesla's mobile service, I love it. All right, so let's talk about how awesome the Tesla app is. I mean, through your Tesla app, you're able to turn on the climate control remotely, turn on the seat heaters remotely, and you're able to turn on the defrost, which superheats the glass of your car, which in the winter, when your car is covered in snow, this is super handy as you can just turn it on 20 minutes before you head out, and all the snow and ice will have melted off of the car. I don't even own a windshield or ice/snow scraper. I just don't need it. From the app, you're also able to vent the windows, open and close the trunk, the frunk, and you can flash the lights, honk the horn, unlock the car, lock the car. You can also like look at the car's location on the map, and you can see your location on the map, which because I'm sitting in my car should be the same. So this makes it really easy to find your car like in a parking lot, for example. Also, the cool thing is like if I was driving right now, I would not only be able to see just like how much charge I have, but I'd also be able to see how fast the car is going. And you're able to see, as you can see right here, you can see what the temperature inside the car is as well. And you can give other people access to your car super seamlessly and remotely. This is also super useful if you're like renting out your car on Turo. Super easy to give your guests access to your car. So another thing that I love about this Tesla is just that it's much cheaper to charge your car than to like fill up a tank of gas. Honestly, I've had free supercharging for a year, so I'm not 100% sure, but my understanding is that charging an electric vehicle is like less than 50% the cost of like filling up a gas car. Also, superchargers are like plenty fast. There's also tons of free chargers in like national parks, ski resorts, and hotels. They're usually like the slower chargers, but honestly, if you're just like leaving your car to like go explore a national park, or you could just like leave your car charging while you go snowboarding, or sleep in your car while it's charging, these slow chargers that are free are incredible. With a gas car, you just don't ever have that option, unfortunately. Another cool thing about having a Tesla is like when you navigate to a supercharger, your car will actually automatically precondition your battery for faster charging. So like on your way to the charger, it will like heat up the battery so your battery charges faster. Like when I'm driving across the country, usually I'll charge my car from like around 20% to 80%, and it usually only takes like 20 minutes. And this charge will last me like 180 miles, which is like 2.5 to 3 hours of driving. So basically every 2.5 to 3 hours, I'm stopping for like 20 minutes, maybe 25 minutes to like charge, and I'll like go to the bathroom and get food. And honestly, it's really not a big deal. Like you'd be surprised, like when you go to the bathroom and eat, like by the time you like finish that, your car is basically ready to go. Also, another great thing about owning this Tesla and having paid for the full self-driving $10,000 is they actually raised the price to $12,000. And so what this does is it actually adds value to my car, because now the software that I paid $10,000 for now costs $12,000. And this should continue as full self-driving gets better and better. The cost of full self-driving, as Elon has already said, is going to continue to go up. Obviously the car is going down in value over time, but at least there's another force of this software that's adding value. So this at least slows the depreciation of my car. And depending on the thesis that you believe, but personally I believe that once full self-driving is complete, and this car is able to be utilized like 5 times more than it currently is, essentially as an autonomous vehicle, a robotaxi, whatever you want to call it, at that point, the full self-driving software should be worth like tens and tens of thousands of dollars. If you ask Uber and Lyft how much they would pay for an autonomous driver, over the lifetime of a vehicle, it's like $200,000 or more. Because that's how much an Uber driver would make over the course of, driving a car for the course of the car's lifetime is like $200,000. So, one could argue that it's possible that my car in the future could be worth more than I paid for it. We will see. Time will tell. But also just like software updates in general, it's just like a Christmas present, and it's just like a gift that keeps on giving. The fact that you can always get these software upgrades that just make your car better, it's just so exciting. Like, one of the main reasons that I bought my Tesla was so that I can like experience and be part of the autonomous vehicle, evolution. And so that's been really exciting. So I think I covered just about everything that I love about my Tesla. I fucking love my Tesla, by the way. But now I'm going to try to nitpick all the things that I don't like about my Tesla and the things that I would change if I could. So one thing that's kind of small, but every once in a while when I walk up to my car, it doesn't unlock automatically right away, and I have to pull on the handle a couple times. It just takes a couple seconds to unlock. But maybe I'm spoiled, but I'm just so used to it unlocking right away. And sometimes I think my car like goes to sleep or something, and it's not like expecting me to come back. And so as soon as I pull on the handle, it wakes up, and then it registers that I have my phone on me with Bluetooth, and then it unlocks. But for some reason, those like extra 2 seconds are just a little frustrating when you're just expecting to like open the door and have it open. All right, another thing that I don't like about my car is actually these performance rims, these 20-inch performance rims. They're super sexy, but they're just so easy to scratch. I mean, they're totally exposed, the tire is really thin, and the rim protrudes from the tire. So it's just like, the first day I let my dad drive it, he scratched the rim. When I did like auto park with the full self-driving thing, when I did auto park, the Tesla actually scratched the rim a little bit. And then when I was renting my car out on Turo, the rims got scratched. The rims are just they're too nice, they're too expensive, and they scratch too easily. So that drives me crazy. You're basically destined to scratch these rims. There's no way around it. Another thing is that the performance tires are actually really thin. It's actually very easy if you hit a big pothole that these tires will pop, which really sucks because it costs like $400 just to put a new tire on. So you really have to incorporate these expenses into owning a performance Model 3. Honestly, in hindsight, I might have just went with a long range Model 3 instead of the performance, because the performance is like an extra $20,000. And on top of that, you're paying extra taxes and extra insurance and extra costs associated with having performance rims and performance tires. So really, it's like this $20,000 extra cost to have a performance Model 3 is really like, I don't know, maybe $30,000 over the life, or $25,000 over the lifetime of the vehicle, which I don't know if it's worth it. Maybe I haven't actually taken it out on the track yet, so maybe then I'll change my mind. I do love the performance, but it's a lot of extra money. All right, another thing that I have noticed, and maybe this is just because I have an expensive car, or maybe it's state by state, but the registration for my vehicle is super expensive. And I have a theory that maybe it's because like gas cars pay a gas tax at the gas pump, and maybe they're trying to make up for it and charge extra for EV registrations, so EVs end up paying taxes in some way or another, because at least in Colorado, the gas tax pays for like maintaining the roads and whatnot. So I guess if you have an electric vehicle and you're never purchasing gas, then you're not really contributing. So maybe they make up for it by charging you a hefty amount for registration. But just, I paid $4,000 to register my vehicle the first time, and then a year later I had to renew, and they charged me $900. And this just seems excessive. And I don't know if it's just because I have an expensive car, or if it's because it's an electric vehicle or a Tesla. I don't know. But if anyone has any idea, definitely comment below. But that's another, I don't know if I can really blame Tesla for that, but man, those extra expenses really add up. Insurance on my Tesla also seems pretty high. I pay $300 a month. It's a $70,000 car, so maybe that makes sense. Tesla announced on their last earnings call that they should be offering their Tesla insurance to 80% of customers by the end of this year. So hopefully one of those states that they offer it in will be New York or Colorado, so I can get Tesla insurance. Tesla insurance is great because they actually, if you drive safer, then you can lower the cost of insurance. So it's really like a really great feedback loop of like driving safer, paying less for insurance. Anyway, I guess maybe this is all just like what it is to have an expensive vehicle. This is my first car, so this is all I know. Another thing that I wanted to touch on, there are certain areas where there just aren't that many superchargers, and so it is kind of inconvenient. like in northern Montana and Canada, you really have to like plan ahead and like figure out where the slow chargers are and like plan your trip around them. In this aspect, there is an inconvenience for having a electric vehicle versus gas. But I think this will slowly change over time. You know, they're adding more and more superchargers and chargers at hotels. And then I have to like mention that, like, you know, while supercharging, you know, while charging your car isn't that inconvenient, there is a slight inconvenience versus a gas car. So like, I'm not going to say that there's zero inconvenience, because you do have to wait a little bit longer. In certain instances, you know, you might need to like go somewhere and you might need to charge for 20 minutes. If I'm really nitpicking like all the negative things with owning a Tesla, like, it's not perfect. You know, you do have to charge it, and it takes a little bit longer than filling up a car at the gas pump. But it's just nowhere near as inconvenient as most people think it is, in my opinion. Another thing, and this has only happened to me once, but if you forget to defrost your vehicle ahead of time, you know, you might, and it's like snowed and the snow melted and froze, you know, you might come to your car and the handles, I'll actually show you guys, just because it's kind of easier to see. As you can see, the handles are in the door, so they'll actually, it's possible for them to, ooh, it's cold out there. All right, let me roll this window up. So, you know, so that can be an inconvenience. It's only happened to me once, and honestly, as long as you defrost your car ahead of time, it's really not a problem. When that happened to me, I just opened the trunk and I crawled in through the trunk and it was totally fine, but it was comical. And then if there's like something that I could like add, I would love to be able to control the like Netflix and like use my phone as a remote, because I'm often laying down in the bed back there and I have to like kind of army crawl up to like pause or change something on Netflix. So being able to use my phone as a remote on the display from back there would be awesome. I'm running out of light. I guess the sun is setting and there's a snowstorm coming in. So sorry if my lighting isn't that great right now. All right, so a couple more things. I wish there were more streaming platforms, but I think Elon's announced that, you know, there's gonna be more and more additions. So I think over time this will get better. But it would be nice to be able to like access all my streaming platforms from my Tesla. They just have Netflix, Hulu, and YouTube, I think. I definitely wish that the summon feature was better. It's just not fully there yet. It's a cool party trick, but it's not perfect yet. I don't really trust it, and I only really use it when there's like no one in the parking lot, and it's just kind of cool to watch. That's all I can really think of in terms of like things that I don't like about my Tesla. Most of these things I think will be addressed because the supercharger network is growing, Tesla insurance is still rolling out, and the Tesla app store is going to continue adding things, adding apps. Hopefully someday I'm able to control my Netflix remotely from my phone. That would be sick. Maybe Elon will watch this video. I hope you guys really enjoyed this review. I really tried to like do an in-depth, like everything that I love and everything that I don't like about the car. If you appreciate the time that I put into this, please like the video. It really helps out my channel. Have a wonderful week. Peace out, guys.
Save and invest your money.